Micheal Pope.
I want to wish you a happy Friday morning. We had a guest that was scheduled to come this morning, as you saw in the, when we do the advertising for Life is a Sacred Journey. Jessica Jordan, she is a health coach, and she was coming to speak to us about Adapt health coaching and all of that. Felicia got an email, I guess last night, or we got it, but I don't read emails after I get home at night. That's my new thing for self-care and self-help. And it looks like she is unable to be with us today. So you get me and another pondering. I mean, oh my gosh, what? And it looks like she will be joining us December 22nd. So I hope that does happen. And we will be happy to have her among us. So I want to tell you again, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the virtual neighborhood of Life is a Sacred Journey. It is my honor and privilege to be here as your host of Life is a Sacred Journey. And my name is Micheal Pope. At least it was yesterday, and I think it still is today. So it's really good to be with you. I want to talk a little bit because I was prepared to talk to you a little bit about alternative health, functional medicine, and alternative health medicine. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that because I've been on that journey myself personally since 2016. When I experienced cancer, and after going through it and getting to the other side, I realized I needed to change the way I looked at my health and what I did to be healthy. And for the most part, I've been almost my entire life a pretty healthy person. But in the moment of this diagnosis, I realized that I was not paying attention to certain things. And a good friend of mine, KK, says, we can convince ourselves that thriving on neglect is healthy. And oh my gosh, when she told me that, that resonated. You can see I remembered it. It resonated with me. And it's something that I really take to heart. And so we'll talk a little bit about that, and then we'll do some pondering together, and then we'll end our time because I know we're all very busy, but I want to give you a list of books that I am reading right now. I'm reading 3 books at this moment. So the first one is Unconventional Medicine by Chris Kresser. I learned about him through Jessica Jordan because he is the founder and creator of the Adapt Health Coaching certification program. And so I did my homework on him and got his book. And I just started reading it. And it is, a lot of the paradigms, a lot of the things he talks about. My dear friend, oh gosh, I just had a moment. The doctor that comes on our show all the time from Kaiser, oh, forgive me. I just had his name on the tip of my tongue. But again, that kind of philosophy where it's doctor and patient and the whole team working together to assist this individual in their health care. It's not the doctor doing two. It's person-centered care is what it's called. But the book is wonderful. It's Unconventional Medicine by Chris Kresser, and I hope I'm pronouncing it right. It's Kresser, Chris Kresser. The other book my dear friend Angela introduced me to was Rest is Resistance. Rest is Resistance. The author is Tricia Hersey, Hersey. I got it on Amazon. It was at my house last night and I've started to read it. Oh my gosh. Rest is resistance. And that's going to be my mantra because I need to understand that rest is resistance to feeling busy, burning out, all of those kinds of things. So we'll talk more about that. I might even try to get a hold of Tricia Hersey to see if she'll come to Life is a Sacred Journey to talk about this shift of rest being a state of resistance. The other book that I'm reading is Christmas is Not Your Birthday. Oh my goodness, right? That's a revelation for us all. So I just ordered that. I'm a part of a group that meets called Lunch and Learn. Stacey Current is leading that. I'm trying to look for the author for you. Hold on. Mike Slaughter. Mike Slaughter, Slaughter. My eyesight is getting worse and worse. So those are 3 books that I'm reading. The last 2 will have some spiritual sort of interjections in their review of the topic of the book. But at the end of the day, even those who are non-believers that are following us, there is always wisdom in everything. And as my mother said, eat the meat and throw away the bones. Whatever doesn't work for you as a person, then you have a right not to participate. And we have a right to respect that. Everybody has a right to respect the other individual's way of looking at stuff. I'm getting more and more in the stage of my life, and I'm going to say this, but don't take it and I'll explain, because I don't want you to take it in the wrong context, because we've bastardized words and the meaning of words, and so they make people feel things that are not true. I don't care any longer about being in a space of judgment or concern that somebody is different from me. I no longer want to feel that anxiety or that sense of, oh my gosh, this person is so diabolically different than me, then there must be something wrong either with me or them. None of that. I have decided that, somebody very close to me had open heart surgery just 24 hours ago. He came out of that surgery after 5.5 hours struggling for his life. And he is younger than me. So I know my days are numbered. And so I really, 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 really don't want to spend it in a space of anxiety, judgment, thinking about failure, thinking about, I want to elevate and execute love in the world. And I am not trying to tell anybody that they need to be but like Micheal Pope. I was made for the very purpose that I am living out. You have a purpose as well. Maybe don't know it. I may know some of you. I do know some of you that follow Life is a Sacred Journey. So I know you're living out your purpose. But we can't just keep looking outward at everybody. Right now, yesterday, this is what happened to me, friends. I went home and I turned on my computer because I had a tiny little bit of work to do, which I'm really struggling not to do that, not to read emails once. I'm already getting home at whatever time at night when the rest of the people are asleep. I don't want to keep doing work. It's not, you got to turn it off. But I had something to do. So I got it done. And while I was on there, YouTube came up. I get they dropped a new thing. Because I'm on YouTube. So I follow YouTube just for my own learnings and experience. Okay. And it was about this man named P. Diddy. He happens to be a rap singer. And it was about, again, these levels of affliction of pain that people afflict upon each other. And when a person doesn't have guidance around what it means to be a wealthy person, then things start to happen. And I was so mortified at what I was hearing that I had to turn it off, because I kept thinking, is this where we have come, that we've taken the life experience and turned it into something where there's nothing but fear? There's fear. I'm not saying that dude, whatever they're accusing him of, that he didn't do it. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is there were, in a matter of, I think I sat down there for 45 minutes. There were different news podcasts, everybody talking about what this person has allegedly done throughout his career. And I thought, wow, if we really have gone to that level of debauchery as human beings, and maybe we have, if you watch all the news, then something has to give. And for those people out there who don't, who say, oh, there isn't a God, there isn't a this or that, this is not about that. I happen to believe there is a God. I happen to practice faith Christianity. I believe in Jesus Christ, all of that, the Holy Spirit. But at the end of the day, you don't have to believe what I believe to be respectful of another human being. And it doesn't matter how much money or power that you have no right to inflict your lack of values or whatever they are, your fetishes, on another human being, your judgments. I was in a meeting this week where I said something that I know is factual and true. And this person who I don't even know spoke to me in such a tone that I was just like, okay, did I inflict pain upon this woman in another life? Because what gave her the right to use a tone of dismissiveness against what I said? But then when a white adjacent person repeated the same thing that I said, they were applauded by this woman. We got to stop talking like, oh, we're just loving, caring persons. I'm not a bigot. I'm not a racist. And then when you systematically treat the only person of African-American descent in the meeting less than his or her best, you are caught up in the system of racism. And I was livid, my friends, of Life is a Sacred Journey. I was, anybody who knows me, I was livid. But because of the pact that I've made with the divine universe, I just smiled at that person. And I thought to myself, whatever. I don't have anything to prove to another human being on this face of the planet about my value and who I am and whether or not I'm smart or not smart, because I don't even live under all that categories of what makes you acceptable as another human being. But I have to say, those of you out there that are in these diverse spaces, it is important to understand the culture of your diversity. It is important, and diversity is not just ethnicity, skin color, gender, sexual, all of that. It's not just all of that. It is putting your own self in check when you think that you have the right to say something to somebody that you take power over their thoughts. And so that's my one pondering this morning, because it's fresh and I'm still feeling some kind of way. That's why I'm laughing about it. My new stress mechanism, when something gets me to the point where I'm just like totally PO'd, pissed off, gonna say it, I just start smiling and laughing to myself. And that's the only thing I can do, because it's to bring myself down to woosah, to and to get that person out of my DNA and out of my feelings about what is going on. And so this is a practice that I'm sharing with all of you because it was given to me. I didn't make it up. I'm not that, I didn't do that. It was from my counselor, my therapist, my sage, who said to me, but if you let people live rent-free in your heart and your mind, then that's on you. I was like, whoa, revelation, revelation, light bulb. And I'm practicing, not perfect, because I'm not perfect in any way. I'm like Mary Poppins, perfect in every way, but not perfect in every way. And I just say, think. Sometimes silence is a great thing when you think that maybe your historical training or your life experience might get in the way and you hurt another person with your words. I was hurt. I was angry, but I was hurt because I'm sick and tired of being in meetings at my age and during a time where I've lived through creating social justice spaces for all people, to walk into a situation where everybody says that, but yet they act out in a totally different way. And so that's my pondering about meetings. And how are you, friends, this morning? But that's my pondering about meetings. And, we make these declarations of love and acceptance and, oh, I'm not this and I'm not that and I'm not one of those people and dippity-doo-dah. And then at the end of the day, we just go out and behave just like the very things that we say we're not. So we got a challenge yesterday from Stacey Current to look in the mirror and see how wonderfully, magnificently we are made. And when you do that and really stare at yourself, because like many of you have been following Life is a Sacred Journey before we even came to this platform and we were on Blog Talk Radio, I started over almost 15 years ago. And the first thing I said on the first podcast or radio, whatever thingy, was I'm looking in the mirror at myself until I can look at myself and smile. At that time, I was looking in the mirror and all I could do was cry. Because when I started really getting in there and looking at myself, what I saw was an unhappy woman. What I saw was a woman that was depressed and living with anxiety. What I saw was a woman that didn't have any hope in her heart, even though she was out there doing that imposter syndrome thing for everybody else. Deep down inside, I was dying and I was screaming for someone to notice and to pull me out. Screaming, yelling in my inside. I could hear my own voice resonating out of me. And that's when I started counseling. That's when I went to Bali and had one of the most divine experiences of my life. That's when the door portals opened up and I got the opportunity. It was given to me, an opportunity, a request to say, let's go to Cuba. And I was in an environment where now I have a brother, Luis, that I'm in contact with. We just reached out to each other this morning to say, God is with both of us. Again, this show is not a Christian show. I just happen to be a person that believes in the values and the platform of Christian faith. But that said, I do live in the real world. And I do know how hard it is for people trying to navigate these spaces of life. And communication is one of the things that we need to do better. We need to live from the inside out. We need to communicate I should have communicated, but I didn't want to do it in a way that everybody was caught up in the drama of my feelings. But I will reach out to this individual at some point. I'd rather do it face-to-face than in writing or text and even on the phone. And the reason for that is that I will be able to look at all of the parts of communication, how the individual physically reacts, all of the parts of communication, looking at their eyes, all of the parts of communication, looking at how they hold their body when they approach me for the conversation. So I can lean in and be the best person that I can be, because it's not about getting that person to apologize to me. It's about helping them to see the impact that they had on somebody who is getting healthy every single day emotionally. And I can't imagine if that was said to me now, 15 years ago. Oh my gosh. Yeah, 15, 20 years ago, had that happened, oh my gosh, the floodgates of hatred would have poured out of me. The floodgates of how dare you, after all I've done, would have poured out of me. But I love that person through, because I didn't know. I felt to myself, they had no idea what they were doing. No idea. And that's how most of us navigate our spaces with one another. We have no idea what we're doing in our dialogue and our everything. I want to thank my daughter, always thanking her for teaching me how to shut up and listen and to see and to hear and to feel with my wholeness, not with my brokenness. And I want to thank her for that. That's the gift that she's given me by being on this planet, by teaching me, by walking with me, by listening to me, by consoling me, and by telling me to shut up. You have to have somebody that walks with you in your real, as they call it, or I call it my real, and not people who are there just to tell you how wonderful you are. Because I'm not always wonderful. Sometimes I'm poopy stinky. And you can tell. I saw my granddaughter last night, so you're poopy stinky. Oh gosh. But I try to be the best that I can be. And that's all we can do on every day when we wake up and open our eyes, and we got to take life as it comes. And yeah. The other thing I want to do before we run out of time, because I have another meeting that I have to go to early this morning, ponderings. I want to ponder and tell you how much I appreciate Uber. This past week, beginning on Saturday, I dropped my car off. As some people know, somebody backed into my car in a parking lot and yada, yada, yada. So I had to drop it off. And no, I don't pay for the extra premium for car rental, because it was high at the time. And I decided not to, because there were other cars I had accessibility to at the time that, I wrote up my insurance. And so I was taking Uber until last night. My son and I connected, and I was able to borrow one of their cars. And I was in cars with Uber drivers, incredible human beings who are out there struggling, trying to keep their families together, working, not only driving Uber, but working another job. And I engaged in such magnificent conversations. One driver, I didn't talk to him at all, because he had the most magnificent playlist on his music. His music was amazing. And I was like, dude, you got to turn that up. And so we didn't talk. We went all the way to Burlingame, and for Miss Anali, he drove me there. And I just didn't want to talk to him, because the music, he was playing Teddy Pendergast. He was playing Barry White. He was playing like the time when Micheal Pope was getting jiggy, partying and having a good time. So I said, turn that up. So for 45 minutes, I didn't say a word to him other than listen to his music. But I want to say to all of you that are out there having 2 jobs, 3 jobs, I have 3 in order to maintain my lifestyle, 3 jobs that bring income into my existence. So I know your struggle. People see you and they have no idea what you're doing to make your world function and to work and to do the things that you do. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Happy New Year to all the Uber drivers out there. They were all 5-star. the folks that I think I spent almost $1,000 on Uber since Saturday, because I had to tip them, and it is what it is, right? So Uber drivers, those of you that are out there and understand your assignment, thank you so much. Stay safe on the road, and I'm sure I'll see you again, because I'm also taking Uber in the evenings because I can't see out of my right eye very well because of a cataract. Surgery is forthcoming. I think it's in February. And so, yeah, but I want to thank the Uber drivers. So remember the people that serve us during this holiday season. And every time you get an opportunity to look in the eye of someone who is serving, whether it's over that cash register, your Uber driver, at your 7-Eleven, I don't know, wherever you go, CVS, I'm naming my places, Whole Foods, all those places. Show them your gratitude, because you have no idea what that person is going through when they leave that job experience. They may be going to another job. They may be a care partner, caregiver. They may go home to children that are stair-stepped age. They may be single parents, single dads. They may be sick. They may actually be sick, standing there trying to get that paycheck so that they can pay their bills. Look at them and give them a smile. Say, hey, how you doing? Wish them a great day. And let them know we're all in this together. We really, really are. So before I go, I wanted to tell you about functional medicine so that you can begin to understand what functional medicine is all about. Functional medicine looks at diet, lifestyle, and behavior. And those are the things that I began with. I began with diet. I started to look at my diet from an ancestral perspective. What were the diet, the recipes, all those things that were passed down? How could I modify them in order to ensure that I could decrease my blood pressure and get off the hydro, whatever that medication is? That's diet. Lifestyle. At the time that I began this journey, I had a television in my bedroom. Where I could play my videos, because I don't watch network television at all, because I don't pay for cable or none of that stuff. Anything I have, my kids have given me, and they're paying for it. I don't even know how it got on the TV. I think a lot of times it's because when they come to my house, they go, I'm not staying here without this. And so they put it on there. And I don't even know how to access them because I don't even have the password. So that said, so you look at your lifestyle. So I got that television out of there, and I realized I got rid of my insomnia. Because as long as it was in there, I would put a movie on. I would, I have, oh my gosh, I have so many CDs. I even have VHS. I mean, I was playing movies like crazy because, again, no television, right? I took it out of there and put it in another room. And now I have to get up and go in my room to go to bed. And then I took all the stuff out of my room, my bedroom, that wasn't comforting, that wasn't about sleep, that wasn't about rest, that wasn't about centering. And there was a lot of junk in there. Like, my room was really active. And so lifestyle, my running, I couldn't run anymore because I started having sciatic. So I went to a physical therapist and an acupuncturist and a chiropractor and all these people together to figure out, can I do this without an operation? Can I get better without? Now, do I have pain? Subtle pain all the time. I've learned to live with it. So to the point, sometimes I don't even know it's there until I have a moment where I'm like, I felt that. But then I also know when I go to my flotation, I go to it and I float in the room with the salts and stuff. And then I go to the acupuncturist and I go to the chiropractor and I don't eat sugar. I'm fine. I just ate Rocco candy the other day. I'm not fine right now. I ate this bundt cake on Saturday with caramel, and oh my gosh, I am not fine right now. So I have to now, over the weekend, do some fasting, drink more water, because I noticed the other day I was dehydrated and I'm not drinking enough water. I've been really busy and I haven't had a water bottle. I lost it somewhere. So all that's lifestyle: rest, sleep, exercise, people that you're around, keeping calm, emotional intelligence, lifestyle. And then the lifestyle and the behavior go together. They all marry: diet, lifestyle, behavior. How do you manifest? Just like yesterday, the day before yesterday, or whenever this stupid meeting was, I had to meditate after, do some mindfulness exercises, remind myself that another person's behavior or response to me may not always be about me. Because I used to always start from the place of, what did I do? And sometimes it's not about me at all. Even when I start there, I go, well, wait a minute, Micheal, you just said bippity bippity bee, and the other person said bippity bippity bee, and it was the same thing. So the response of the other person was irrelevant and unwarranted. What do, Micheal? You smile, you laugh, you take on a positive attitude, you take on your mindfulness exercises, and more than anything else, you breathe. Okay? So those: diet, lifestyle, and behavior. And then what it does when you start practicing functional medicine is it empowers you to discover your own strength and wisdom. I have learned so much about myself: my good, my bad, my ugly, and my yucky. I've learned all of it. And there's strength in that. It's humbled me. It's made me a better listener. I'm more empathetic. I'm more patient. And all of those things that I just listed, that means outwardly to others, but also internally with myself. Those things. It supports me, supports you without judgment. So there's no judgment about, like when I went to my first holistic doctor appointment, he said, well, did you smoke? Do you smoke? Not anymore. How many years did you smoke? The truth: 30, long time. Okay. Do you still have a desire to smoke? Every day. Told the truth. So that, in fact, in this case, he would know. But he had no judgment. He was like, okay, so we want to make sure we give you stuff to heal your lungs and blah, 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 blah. And again, he helped me to create my own solutions, and he holds me accountable for everything that we are doing together. That's the adaptive medicine approach, adaptive functional medicine approach. Person-centered, all about you as the patient, all about you as the individual that is doing this mighty self-care work. You have to be investigative, my friends. You have to look at your situations emotionally and everywhere, and be investigative about how you got there. And a lot of us have brought ancestral stuff with us, and some of us have just really had trauma in our lives. But at the end of the day, we're still here, and we have an opportunity to grow in our wisdom and take a more powerful, intentional position about who we want to be in the world. And so I'm going to be signing off a little early today because of another meeting that I have. But I really want to say to you, don't get caught up in the hubbub of Christmas. Get caught up in the spirit of Christmas. That doesn't mean that I'm telling you how to practice your beliefs. What it means is that spirit of giving, that spirit of love, that spirit of something wonderful is about to happen. Anticipate it. Live in your awe. Live in your wonder. And then take it into 2024, because we're going to need it. We're going to need it to overcome some of the struggles that we're going to take into 2024, and the ones that will come up as we live this journey. So we always end every Life is a Sacred Journey by reaching out and saying, dial 988. the suicide hotline number if you are someone right now that is experiencing the holiday blues and you don't have your own therapist, counselor, or someone that you can go to that can help you through this moment. The suicide hotline has a group of people who are highly trained and passionate about making sure that every person that dials that 988 number stays alive for another day, another second, another week, another month, another year. And they will make sure you have the resources so that you're not just getting a bunch of words and then somebody hangs up the phone and you still feel the same way you felt before you dialed 988. Reach out. Make sure that you get the support that you need. Know that you are loved. And even if nobody told you, life is a sacred journey, loves you, and we want you alive because your purpose is not yet known to you and you have a great opportunity. 988. If you are a young person out there, and I pray I have it, I do. Yay, good girl. The Youth Crisis Hotline, California Youth Crisis Hotline, 24/7 crisis counseling, anonymous, safe, confidential, and it connects you to services for youth and families. The number is 1-800-843-5200. It says call, text, and chat. 1-800-843-5200. California Youth Crisis Hotline, 24/7 crisis counseling, anonymous, safe, and confidential. All right, good friends, go out into this world and make this the best day that you can make it. Get that feeling about what it feels like to be in a place of joy and non-judgment and just living from the inside out. Because once you feel it, you're going to want it. And you're not going to let anybody take it away from you. And you're going to practice it every day. Practice loving yourself. It's okay. Because when you love yourself, you can laugh at the people who just think that they can't love you, and you can move forward. Laugh not to say, aha, you're an awful person, or nya, 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 but to give yourself a little grace. So be well, have a great weekend wherever you're going, whatever you're doing. And remember, peace is justice and rest is resistance. Take care. Oh, wait. Micheal Pope, hug a cat, pet a dog, and hug a tree. What did I do? All right, my friends, take care. Bye.